For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Local news, national news, even feel-good news, delivering the topics that are relevant to you.
That's why I listen to Joe. He covers it all.
The Joe Kelley Show on WDBO.
It was really so perfect. I mean, Donald Trump is a man of the people, right? Donald Trump, unlike Joe Biden, everything with Joe Biden is so scripted, and he knows exactly who he's going to call on, and he already knows what the answers and the questions are going to be for any of his news conferences, and it's all a bunch of hooey. It's all smoke and mirrors with Joe Biden, but Donald Trump is a man of the people. That's why he was able to just randomly stop at a Chick-fil-A and be lovingly embraced by the people at the Chick-fil-A in Atlanta, Georgia, even with an African-American woman just getting all giddy at the sight of Donald Trump and telling him, don't believe what the media says. We love you, Donald Trump, and being allowed to go up, get past Secret Service and give him a big hug and everything. He is a man of the people, but it's also a political show. It's all staged. That woman that gave Donald Trump a hug was not some random woman who happened to have been at the Chick-fil-A when the former president of the United States of America came walking in. That random woman has a name. And, I'm if nothing else, I'm just shocked these days that people think that we're dumb, that we won't figure things out. And I'm not just targeting Donald Trump because the Democrats do this. It's all political theater. But the woman that went up to Donald Trump and gave him a hug at the Chick-fil-A, she has a name. Her name is Michaela Montgomery. Wasn't hard to figure out who she was. Wasn't hard to find her online. She is not just some random woman who happened to have been at Chick-fil-A when Donald Trump walked in. She is she has had a long involvement with the Republican Party of Georgia. She is a political consultant who worked for the Republican Party of Georgia. She was the city director for something called Brexit, which is like Brexit when the Brits left the European Union. But Brexit is a group that was founded by Candace Owens to recruit black voters into voting for Donald Trump and joining the Republican Party. She was the state director for Brexit. And she's been active with the Georgia Republican Party since 2018. And I will tell you, I've seen a variety of pictures of her with the governor of Georgia, in the state house. She looks so professional, so professionally dressed, so professionally presented, not like the person she looked like at Chick-fil-A. She was absolutely dressed street in Chick-fil-A. That's not how she normally dresses. You remember that this was Donald Trump working the Chick-fil-A crowd.
Vote for him. He's running for Congress.
I do. I put canvassers together. So all these HBCU students that you see here, I brought them here to meet you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much.
Yes, we've also knocked doors for you in the past for your past re-election bid and when you ran the first time. Yeah. Wow. I was interning for the GAGOP at that time. So, yeah. Wow. Doing a lot for your tax credit reform bill and everything like that.
Well, we took care of those colleges.
Sure did. Much better than Biden did. So I was This is Clark Atlanta. This is Spelman. This is Morehouse. This is Morris Brown.
Wow. Isn't that great?
So I don't care what the media tells you, Mr. Trump. We support you.
We love you.
Okay, 4 p.m. We've been 4 p.m.
Come here, let me give you a hug.
Please
And just like with anytime you see Joe Biden make an appearance somewhere and he's got people standing behind him, those are people that are carefully selected. It is all for show. These are people that don't show up with signs to rallies. The signs are already made. The T-shirts are already made. And there aren't people that are traveling around the United States following Donald Trump that have, Blacks for Trump T-shirts that are made. The T-shirts are printed and waiting for people to get there. The whole thing is absolutely political show. I'm a cynic of all of the political candidates. And that's just the latest there with Donald Trump. This as Joe Biden is out buying more votes today, as you heard in the news there at the top of the hour, which, by the way, a big round of applause to Laura Lee. She's working like quadruple duty here today. And this is why I don't get trained on all the other equipment, because I don't want to get stuck doing what Laurel has to do. And that is, so we don't have an operator today. So we don't have someone on the flight deck. So Laurel is not only anchoring the newscast, but she is running the entire show.
So give me a break if something bad happens.
Yeah. So we're allowing you a wide berth here tonight. So, but she's working really, really hard, and she is multi-talented, and for that we are very grateful. So thank you, Laurel, for stepping up. Some nights we have two operators. We'll have Jake and Greg. I don't know. So how do we not have one of Jake or Greg tonight?
Good. Greg was on the morning show. He had to fill in for the producer there. Why we don't have Jake? I don't know. It's above my pay grade.
And I will only mention this briefly, but our good buddy Josh, who everybody knows, Josh McCarthy, had an incident this week where he fell off of his bicycle. And so he's taken a couple days off. And we wish him well. He's doing great. No broken bones. I spoke with him today. Paul wants to talk. I spoke with him today, and he's doing well. He was afraid he was going to have some teeth removed, but he didn't. But he had to have 2 root canals today because he had cracked some teeth and had a few stitches. I said I wasn't going to say much, and now I've pretty much said it all. And now I'm feeling bad. I think I violated.
You know what? It's the reason why I don't exercise or ride a bike. That's right. It's just too dangerous. Much too dangerous.
The HIPAA police are going to come here and kick down the door and haul me away in handcuffs because I have violated. Oh no.
Oh, poor.
Am I going to have an HR meeting again? Oh, please tell me I'm not going to have another HR meeting.
Do you know was Josh riding with or alongside Joe Biden?
No, I don't believe he was. I don't think so.
Okay.
But he'll be fine. He'll be fine. But he's, when you hurt yourself, there's the first day, right? And then like the 2 or 3 days afterwards is when it really, really hurts. You know what I'm talking about? So he is understandably not available to. This all goes back to why Laurel is working so hard today. She is having to run the board and anchor and everything else. So, all right, this is Joe Biden today is buying the votes of 277,000 more Americans. Today, he canceled the debt, something that he doesn't have the legal ability to do so. Even Nancy Pelosi said that Joe Biden doesn't have the ability to cancel debt. Only Congress can do that. But Biden announced today that $7.4 billion more in student debt cancellation for 277,000 Americans. If that's not, and again, it's my cynicism Friday. I'm being cynical today. If that's not a vote buying scheme, I don't know what else to call it. It's a vote buying scheme of another 277,000 Americans. That's costing you and me $7.4 billion. I didn't take out loans for my college education. I paid it as I went along. Now, that having been said, I will be the first to tell you that it's a lot different from when I went to college to today, to the past 10 years. I mean, college has become so much more expensive. And I was able to have a job and go to college and pay for my college while I was in school. Not to mention, I didn't exactly go to a Ivy League school. I don't own any gear from my college. I don't have any pride in my college. I went to Lamar University in Beaumont, Texas. Small town, small university. Not exactly a prestigious higher education facility. And I get it. School these days is terribly expensive. The interest rates are terribly high. And regrettably, a lot of young students, not young anymore, but were young at the time, signed up for very expensive student loans with the thought that their job that they would get coming out of college would help pay that loan back. Well, particularly if you pick terrible majors, there's no guarantee whatsoever you're going to be able to pay it back with the job that you get out of college. But I just think it is entirely outrageous that Joe Biden, and maybe it's just me, maybe I'm just cynical, maybe you've got a different take on this, maybe you think that this is the right thing to do to be able to pay off everybody's student loan debt. I just think it's obnoxious and terrible, and it's so transparent that this is a vote-buying scheme.
No, I am not happy about Biden forgiving more student loan debt, period. I went to school, paid for my college degree, worked 2 full-time jobs, and paid off my student loan debt. Thank you.
844-580-WDBO. It's 844-580-9326. You can use the open mic and the WDBO app. What do you think about President Biden canceling the debt for even more students? 277,000 American voters that he has canceled the debt today, even though the Supreme Court in a 6-3 decision said the Biden administration doesn't have that authority. He can't use executive power for that. 844-580-WDBO or use the open mic in the WDBO app. Coming up next, all the stories that you missed while you were at work today. That's next on the Joe Kelley Show.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580, Orlando's news and talk.
Hey, coming up at 6 o'clock, it's our Friday night fun and games. And because you guys complain all the time, Paul and Laurel, about the trivia questions or the contest that I have for you, I'm mixing it up quite a bit tonight. So stand by. I've got music trivia, movie trivia, and trivia questions.
Do we have anybody else playing with us?
Well, we're hoping so. Cutie Pie is not available to join us, so that is regrettable. But Cutie Pie, Laurel's husband. So yeah, he can't join us, but we'll try to get someone else to be able to join us, hopefully. So,
why didn't I?
Stepping out of the office elevator and into today's top stories. Here's what you missed while you were at work.
Well, here this shows you that it's not just in the United States. The German Parliament approves legislation making it easier for transgender, intersex, and non-binary people to change their name and gender identity. That is in Germany. The Biden administration, as you well know, we're reporting, cancels $7.4 billion in student loans for 277,000 borrowers. The Interior Department finalized a rule making it more expensive for oil and gas producers to drill on federally owned lands, which is basically all the land out in the western United States. The House votes to renew the powerful surveillance program known as FISA 2 days after a group of 19 conservative lawmakers revolted against Republican leadership and blocked the legislation on the floor. Out of Dallas, Texas, a stolen big rig was crashed into the Texas Department of Public Safety office Friday, killing one person, injuring several others. We're told that the dude who was driving the big rig was upset because he was not given a commercial driver's license. Well, he's not going to get one now, is he? When you crash your truck into the DPS. President Biden tells reporters this afternoon he expects an Iranian strike on Israel to occur, quote, sooner rather than later, amid urgent concerns that Iran was about to retaliate for the bombing of its consulate in Damascus, Syria, earlier this month. And there was a school shooting in Wilmer, Texas today. One student was shot. One student has been arrested. And Laurel, you know that thing I do that is so annoying that I annoy everybody with that?
Well, that could be a list of things.
Yeah. That thing where I've lived everywhere that a news story happens.
Yeah.
So Wilmer, Texas, as fate would have it, so when we adopted our son Joey, that's where he lived. He lived in Wilmer, Texas, and that would have been his high school had he gone to high school there. We moved out of the Dallas area, but that's where he would have gone to high school. And so I texted him today. And I said, hey, because he lives in Oklahoma now, and I said, hey, there was a shooting at what would have been your high school. And he says, oh, my gosh, that's crazy. I'm actually in Wilmer right now. My son was in Wilmer where the shooting took place as his grandmother had died, and he was there for the funeral of his grandmother. That would have been his biological grandmother. Not my mother. We adopted him, so that helps explain everything. All right, 844-580-WDBO. You can use the open mic and the WDBO app. We got a couple of different things we're talking about here. Primarily, we're talking about the Biden administration buying 277,000 votes today by paying off the student loan debt for people who had taken on that debt.
So they say they're going to relieve the student debt for people who don't even know how to control their budget to begin with. They waste money and probably wasted the money on their student debt on a holiday. And they say they're doing it so those people can buy houses and property and cars. Wait a minute. I got to pay for these people, these idiots, to buy houses and cars?
Yeah, I don't like calling them idiots, but yes. Yes, that's exactly the point.
It's outrageous that he's taking our taxpayer money and doing whatever he wants to do with it as if it's checkbooks sitting there on his desk. He should be impeached, removed from office, paying off student loans. What's next? Car payments, house payments? It's outrageous that they're taking our tax money, our hard-earned money, and paying off other people's debts with it. It's bad enough that we're feeding the Hamas and the terrorists around the world with our money.
Yeah, and...
Joe, the student loan forgiveness program is only costing the taxpayers who pay their taxes. I will not be paying mine this year, and I will be waiting for the tax forgiveness program.
Yeah, good luck with that. The IRS could well be knocking on your door. Coming up next, you know that ship that struck the Baltimore Bridge? Do you know that the crew aboard that ship has not been able to leave the ship? They're still on that ship. I will unpack that as to how the crew is essentially stranded on that ship. We'll have that coming up for you next. Stay with us.
This is WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580, Orlando's news and talk. In-depth segments on topics that matter to Orange, Seminole, Osceola, and all of Central Florida. The Joe Kelley Show on WDBO.
I love your show every night. You're doing great, bud.
What's going on with Israel, October 7th, and what's going on with Israel could end up in a world war. We have a president that can't put two sentences together. We have a president that can't find the stairs off a stage. We have a president that doesn't know what the hell he's doing. And we could end up in a world war. You know, we have just a little bit less than 7 months before November 5th. But that's an eternity when people are incompetent.
As Donald Trump down in Mar-a-Lago just a short time ago, he's there meeting with the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. They're talking about election integrity, and we'll keep a close eye on any new developments out of there. We're also seeing just, again, a whole lot of activity coming out of Iran and Israel, and there was a big barrage of missiles that were launched from Hezbollah into Tel Aviv. The Iron Dome seemingly did its job. But there's just been a real step up of activity. We're told now that there's been activity at a ballistic missile launcher west of Tehran, the capital of Iran. So we'll continue to keep an eye on that. It is the middle of the night or early in the night, midnight-ish in Iran right now. Pivot here. I always think of this song when I think of my childhood. mine, Tommy, used to work on the docks because when I was a teenager, I used to work on the docks. Yep, I used to work on the docks when I was a teenager. What was I, Laurel? Do you remember what the name of the word is? What's the word?
Stevedore.
That's right. I was a stevedore. I've had 3 jobs that weren't in radio. One was a grocery clerk. You know what? I take it back. I've had 4 jobs that weren't in radio. My first one was a newspaper boy. I threw newspapers, the Port Arthur News, and it cost $4.25 a month to subscribe. So that was my first media job. And then I worked as a restocking clerk at a grocery store. I was a summer camp counselor for the Boy Scouts, and I was a stevedore for a summer. And a stevedore is a fancy way of saying that I worked on the docks. It's a pretty word. It's a sophisticated word, but I was a dock worker as a kid. My father, I was a Nepo baby. So my father worked for Texaco Marine. For those of you who might be a little bit younger, Texaco used to be an oil company like Exxon and Mobil Oil, and it went away. Texaco doesn't exist anymore. They got bought up and absorbed. But my father worked for Texaco for 20 some odd years. And Dad got my brother Steve and I a job working on the docks one summer. I don't remember what the pay was. I remember it was astronomical compared to what my peers were making as other 14 and 15-year-old kids. I don't think my father, though, realized, A, how dangerous the job was, and B, what my colleagues would be like. My colleagues, I am certain all of them had active warrants out for their arrest. I am certain every single one of them had warrants out for their arrest. One guy, he wore a tank top every day to work, and his right arm was mangled, just nasty, nasty scars. And I remember once I'm just this punk little skinny tall kid that was on the brink of being diagnosed with cancer. And I remember once getting the nerve to ask one of my colleagues, one of my fellow stevedores, I said, hey, what happened to that guy's arm? And I don't know if he was pulling my chain, but I don't think he was. He said, some years ago, he got pulled over by the cops. And as he was getting out of his car, as the cops walked up to his car, he was getting out of a car with a shotgun because he was going to shoot the cops, and the shotgun discharged and damn near blew his arm off. That was one of my colleagues on the stevedore crew of loading ships. We loaded...
Well, you can imagine if that happened today. As soon as they heard that gunshot, the guy would be dead.
Oh, yeah.
He'd have 46 bullets in him.
Yeah, as he should. But as a stevedore, we were responsible for loading the ship's stores. So when the ship would come into port, they're all oil tankers. They would come into port, and we would be responsible for loading all the food that they were going to be eating on the next trip, any piping or any equipment that they needed. Every now and again they would be moving a car. Don't ask. They would just load a car up. That was like the movie Titanic or the actual Titanic. There was one car on the Titanic when it sank. And I learned a lot about ships from my father. Again, I was a Nepo baby. I got that primo gig because of who my dad was. My dad worked in the Texaco Marine Division because of his time in the Navy. So so now I pivot to the Dali. The Dali, D-A-L-I, not D-O-L-L-Y. Dali is the ship that ran into the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore a couple weeks ago. The crew of that ship remains on board that ship. They're not allowed to get off. And there have been some people thinking, well, that seems cruel and horrible and punitive, and they should be able to have shore leave, and they should be able to go and live it up in Baltimore. Because, gosh, who doesn't want to go to Baltimore and live it up? God, I'd rather stay on a ship that's not going anywhere.
I can imagine. We're good.
Right,
we're good
yeah.
Here. No problem.
No. So there are things that people need to know about ships in order to understand why the crew is still on board that ship. First and foremost, there's not a key. There's not an ignition on a ship where before the ship departs, the captain goes in, well, where did I put my key? Where is the key for the ignition? They don't start ships that way. ships, in most cases, have to run 24/7, 365. They cannot turn off the engine to most ships, largely because of the propeller. And it's because the propeller has a giant shaft that runs along the keel of the ship before it is connected to the pistons that drive the shaft. But the shaft is so large, so the girth it's very girthy, and it is incredible.
Are you trying to come up with a promo here? Because it's working.
And it's incredibly long and very hard. And the shaft.
Is this the pivot? Pivot.
The problem,
a 12-year-old boy, and look at and if you're on the feed watching, Laurel is not amused.
Yeah, she's texting. She's doing
12-year-old.
She's
boy
playing.
Humor.
She's playing Tetris on her phone. So, because the shaft is so long that if the shaft ever stops, okay, it will start to sag. It'll get a bend in it. And you don't want...
That's exactly what I tell my wife. I told her
you don't want to have a bend in your shaft at all because then it will permanently not work. So if you...
That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it.
If you ever... Can you believe that we have won an award? So if you ever go up to a ship, okay, you're more likely to go up to a cruise ship, not an oil tanker. But if you ever are on a cruise and you walk to the back of the ship when you're in port, walk to the back of the ship, and if the propeller is visible, you will notice that the propeller is moving ever so slightly. It has to move continuously so that the shaft doesn't get off balance. There you go. That's my morsel of useless information that I've just shared with you. And so the crew can't leave the ship because the ship is still fully operating. The ship is still working. And they have enough stores on that ship for 35 days. It's been 14 days. And they can easily bring more food onto the ship. But and they did have to take one crew member off the ship as he was injured during the collision, but he has since been returned to the ship. And then you get into the whole issue of visas and paperwork and shore passes. And it is not known if the crew members on board the ship actually have the proper paperwork to depart the ship and to come ashore in Baltimore. And again, I go back to who in the world would want to go to Baltimore?
Well, then you have the guy who was injured. They took him off, and then they brought him
right back, yeah.
They brought him back onto the ship. So he thought he was free for a little bit.
Yeah. It's a Singapore-based ship and crew, but most of the crew are from India or Sri Lanka. So it'll be a while before they're able to go home. But the ship is anchored. In fact, it's bow and stern anchors, so it's not going anywhere anytime soon. And they're trying to offload some of the containers. So there you go. I have Joe used to work on the docks. All right, so coming up at 6 o'clock, our Friday night fun and games. Not like we haven't been having both fun and games in this segment. We'll have music trivia, movie trivia, and Orlando trivia. We're going to have 3 rounds of trivia coming up in the 6 o'clock hours. Y'all stick around. Stay with us here on The Joe Kelley Show.
The Joe Kelley Show on WDBO. The Joe Kelley Show on WDBO. News, weather, traffic, all the things you want on your drive home. Plus, Joe Kelley being, well, Joe Kelley. Now, The Joe Kelley Show on Orlando's News and Talk, WDBO.
By the way, with the D.C. National Guard, there are now some whistleblowers with the D.C. National Guard that say that they were ready to be deployed on January 6th on President Trump's orders, but were held back by the Pentagon. So that is so fascinating that we're 3 years removed from the January 6th upheaval, and we're still trying to get to the bottom of actually what happened on that day. and it is nuts. Coming up after 6 o'clock, we're going to have our Friday night trivia. And because Laurel always complains about the music trivia, and Paul always complains about the movie trivia, I'm going to do 3 rounds. We'll have some movie trivia, some music trivia, and then we're going to have trivia, Florida trivia, Orlando, Florida, or Orlando and Florida trivia for you. So I've got,
which we both complain about. So
yes,
okay.
I know. You'll have equal complaints coming from you guys. And nothing but complaints from these people. I'm telling you. Hey, do you remember, Pivot? Do you remember the story about that 8-year-old boy in Kentucky that ate strawberries and died? He had allergic reaction to the strawberries and died. This was a story, I don't know, like a week and a half or so ago. The 8-year-old boy, we now know, did not die from the strawberries. He died from fentanyl. The kid brought the strawberries home from a school fundraiser, and the episode prompted the county's health department to issue an advisory to dispose of all strawberries. Well, now the county health department said that after testing samples of the strawberries, showed they were all safe to eat. And it wasn't the strawberries that killed the kid. It was fentanyl poisoning. So police have now charged a 33-year-old man with manslaughter after investigators determined that the boy died of fentanyl. They don't say how the fentanyl got in the house or how the guy is related to the boy, but he has been charged with drug trafficking and illegal gun possession. And now he's going to be facing either involuntary manslaughter or some sort of murder charges. The boy developed a rash. The family gave him antihistamine Benadryl, soaked him in a bath at home, but it didn't go away, the rash, that is. They took him to the emergency room, but they brought him home several hours later. He died the next morning. He died on March 15th. Fentanyl poisoning, fentanyl that no doubt came across our southern U.S. border, probably from China originating. I'm Joe Kelley. All right, we are going to loosen up our neckties, take off our shoes, unsnap our brassieres, and get ready for Friday night fun and games with our movie, music, and Orlando trivia, all coming up next. Stay with us. I promise we're going to have fun in the next hour. Got to lighten things up. I want you to go home in a good mood. I want you to go home with a light heart. I don't want anybody going home with a heavy heart. We're going to go home with a light heart today. So we'll have fun in our last hour. Stay with us. It's coming up next on The Joe Kelley Show right here on WDBO.
The Joe Kelley Show on WDBO. Now, from the Bogan Munz & Munz WDBO Traffic Center. Auto accident? Choose Bogan Munz & Munz.
We got a new crash now on Colonial at Pebble Beach, and another crash, this one in Seminole County, Shepherd Road at Chioa Circle. That's in Winter Springs. We're still seeing many, many big delays out of Polk County on I-4 eastbound from 557 through Champions Gate and then past Disney. This report is brought to us by ProTech, air conditioning and plumbing service for honesty, integrity, and 100% customer satisfaction. Call ProTech, 407-502-6263, or visit ProTechAC.com. From the WDBO Traffic Center, I'm Paul Cross.
This is WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580, Orlando's news and talk. From the jazz age to the information age, WDBO has been there. Join us in saluting a century of broadcasting excellence. Happy 100th WDBO, the soundtrack to Orlando's history.
It is our Friday night fun and games. I am so excited. It is the weekend. We always try to make sure that everybody heads off into the weekend in a good mood. We make sure that our last hour here is you go home, man. We want you to go home and hug on your family and hug on the dog, and maybe if it's just a pillow you're hugging on, whatever it is when you go home. We just want you to go home in a good mood. We don't want anybody to go home like all riled up and angry and everything. So we lighten the load here in the last hour of the Joe Kelley Show on a Friday afternoon, and it's gorgeous outside. We have taken the roof off of the radio station, and we're just enjoying the sunshine right now. 77 degrees, a little bit of a breeze, and it is time to introduce our contestants here. We have Laurel Lee, who is doing double duty tonight. She is both news anchor and board operator here tonight. Hello, Laurel.
Hello, and now you're going to make my brain work even harder.
Yeah, you got to do trivia, too. And we have Paul Cross. Hello, Paul.
Hey there.
And then we have our designated hitter, Michael Gray, who's joining us. Hello, Michael. How are you?
Good. Good afternoon and happy Friday, everyone.
Absolutely so. All right, Michael, we're glad you're joining us. And for all of our contestants, we have 3 rounds of trivia for you today. And one round is going to be music trivia. That'll be the first round. Second round is going to be Orlando trivia. And the third round is going to be movie trivia. Are you guys ready to go? Here is your... Now, I hope everybody make sure you got a piece of paper and a pencil, a piece of pencil and a paper, so that you can write down the answers as you hear them. Here is your first song. We're doing music trivia first. Identify both the artist and the title of this song.
She keeps a Moet Chandon in a pretty cabinet.
Very short clip. 5 seconds is all you get. I'll do it one more time.
She keeps a Moet Chandon in a pretty cabinet.
Okay, write it down. Here's song number 2.
On a dark desert highway, cool wind in my hair.
And I know what you're thinking. Wait a minute, Joe. These are way too easy.
On a dark desert highway, cool wind in my hair.
And yes, you might be right. These are too easy, but the hard ones are coming, so don't worry. Song number 3.
He says, son, can you play me a memory?
But Joe, these are too easy, you say.
He says, son, can you play me a memory?
All right, here is song number 4.
When you get what you want, but not what you need.
It's a little bit harder.
When you get what you want, but not what you need.
All right, we need the artist and the title, please. Here's song number 5.
It's easy if you try.
Did you get that? Song number 5.
It's easy if you try.
This song is easy if you try. I just hope you try. Song number 6. Song number 6. I'll play it one more time for you. Song number 7. I know Laurel's writing down an answer on that one. Song number 7, one more time. Song number 8.
Heaven from hell, blue skies.
Song number 8, one more time.
Heaven from hell, blue skies.
Got it? Song number 9.
You remember when it first started.
I'll do it again. Song number 9.
You remember when it first started.
Got it? Song number 10.
When I look into your eyes.
That distinctive voice. I know you guys know that one, but do you know the name of the song? Let's hear it again.
When I look into your eyes.
Song number 11.
I never meant to cause you any sorrow.
Song number 11, one more time.
I never meant to cause you any sorrow.
And your last song, number 12.
You get a shiver in the dark, it's raining in the park, but meantime.
Song number 12, one more time.
You get a shiver in the dark, it's raining in the park, but meantime.
All right, pencils down, everybody. It's time to answer the questions. Go back to the top.
She keeps a Moet Chandon in a pretty cabin.
Laurel, I need the artist and the song title.
It's Killer Queen by Queen.
Paul Cross. You got to turn Paul on.
Paul is on.
Oh.
I am. That was my fault. Killer Queen is correct.
Michael Gray.
I did not know it. I just knew it was Queen.
All right, song number 2. So does he get a half a point for that?
Sure.
Okay, fine. So you get you can get 2 points per question. So Paul and Laurel both get 2 points. Song number 2.
On a dark desert highway, cool wind in my.
What is it, Laurel? Song, artist, and title.
Hotel California by the Eagles.
Paul Cross.
That is correct.
And Michael Gray. Michael?
Bueller?
Michael Kleikel?
Hotel California by the Eagles.
There you go.
Can you hear me?
All right. Yes, we can now. Very good. All right. Song number 3.
Says, son, can you play me a memory?
Laurel, who is that?
Billy Joel, Piano Man.
Paul Cross.
Billy Joel, Piano Man.
Michael Gray.
I got Piano Man, but I thought it was Elton John. So
that is a common mistake that people make, confusing Elton John and Billy Joel. You only get a half point for that one. Here's song number 4.
When you get what you want, but not what you need.
Laurel, who is that?
It's U2, and I don't know what it is.
All right, Paul Cross.
I have no idea.
Michael Gray.
I did not get that one.
That is not U2. It's Coldplay. And it's called Fix You. Song number 5. Laurel, artist and title.
I guess Paul McCartney, and that's as far as I got.
Wow. All right, Paul Cross.
That's John Lennon, Imagine.
And Michael Gray.
I'm just a baby. I didn't know that one.
Wow. That's one of the most iconic songs ever. Yeah, it's John Lennon, Imagine. All right, song number 6. Laurel.
Pearl Jam. I forget what it's called.
Paul Cross.
Yeah, it's Pearl Jam, and I've drawn a blank.
Michael Gray.
3 strikes. I do not know.
It is Pearl Jam. The name of the song is Black. Number 7. Don't let us down, Laurel. What is it?
Metallica, Nothing Else Matters.
Paul Cross.
Metallica, Nothing Else Matters.
Michael.
Wah, wah.
Song number 8.
From hell, blue sky.
Laurel.
I'm jumping in Michael's boat. I don't know.
All right, Paul Cross.
Pink Floyd, Wish You Were Here.
Michael.
Your choices today, dude. I had no idea.
Yeah, that's Pink Floyd, Wish You Were Here. Song number 9. Laurel.
September, Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Paul.
Yeah, the same thing. September, Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Michael. Did we lose Michael again? I think we got a dodgy connection with Michael, I'm afraid.
September, Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Nice. That's right. You got it right. Here's song number 10. Laurel, who dat?
All right, don't hate me. I guessed Poison, and that's all I got.
Wow. Paul Cross.
That is Guns N' Roses, November Rain.
Michael Gray.
I did not know that one.
Yeah, it's Guns N' Roses, November Rain. Good job, Paul Cross. Number 11. Laurel.
I don't know.
What? Paul Cross.
Prince, Purple Rain.
Michael.
Prince, Purple Rain.
There you go. And your last song.
You get a shiver in the dark, it's raining in the park. The meantime.
Come on, Laurel. We're counting on you.
Strike out.
Paul Cross.
Dire. I like the way you say that, Paul Cross. Dire Straits, The Sultans of Swing.
And Michael Gray.
I've never even heard of that song.
Well, oh, my goodness gracious. All right, so count up your points. That ends up round 1. We've concluded round 1. Round 2, coming up next, is going to be Orlando trivia questions. And then round 3 is going to be movie quote trivia. Our Friday night fun and games. You're listening to The Joe Kelley Show.
The Joe Kelley Show on WDBO. The Joe Kelley Show on WDBO. Connected to our community. Talk local issues and events with Joe Kelley. Use the open mic in the WDBO app and let Joe know what interests you. The Joe Kelley Show on WDBO.
So glad you're joining us here on our Friday night fun and games. We all like to just relax, chill out a little bit, take it easy on a Friday night. We loosen up the neckties, we untie our shoes, take the socks off and everything else like that and just relax. And we are doing our Friday night fun and games with trivia. Round 1 was music trivia. Round 2 now is going to be Orlando and Florida trivia. Our contestants are Laurel, Paul, and our buddy Michael. Are you guys ready for the Orlando/Florida trivia questions? All right.
Ready as we're ever going to be.
Write down your answers as you know them. Question number 1. Thunderbug is the official mascot of what Florida professional sports team? Thunderbug is the official mascot of what Florida professional sports team? That was question number 1. Question number 2. What airline, headquartered in Florida, is listed on the NASDAQ with the symbol SAVE, S-A-V-E? What airline, headquartered in Florida, is listed on the NASDAQ with the symbol SAVE, S-A-V-E? Question number 3. What is the original name of Orlando, Florida? Yeah, that's a tough one, isn't it? What is the original name of Orlando, Florida? Question number 4. In what year did Walt Disney World Resort in Orlando officially open to the public? In what year did Walt Disney World Resort in Orlando officially open to the public? Question number 5. I'm going to blow y'all's mind with this one. Number 5. What is the name of the iconic fountain located in the middle of Lake Eola Park in downtown Orlando? Yes, the fountain has a name. What is the name of the iconic fountain located in downtown Orlando in the middle of Lake Eola Park? I wonder if Buddy Dyer knows that one even. Question number 6. In what year did Hurricane Charlie make landfall in Orlando, causing significant damage? In what year did Hurricane Charlie make landfall in Orlando, causing significant damage? And question number 7. Which famous golfer has a golf resort named after him in Orlando? Which famous golfer has a golf resort named after him in Orlando? All right, let's go back to the top. Question number 1. Laurel, you're up first. Thunderbug is the official mascot of what Florida professional sports team?
Be the Thunder, the Tampa Bay Lightning.
The Tampa Bay Lightning, you say. What about you, Paul Cross?
Didn't know that. Don't know.
Michael?
I didn't know that one either.
Yeah, it's the Tampa Bay Lightning. Laurel got one right. Oh, my goodness.
Sports?
Gracious, I can't believe it.
Go sports ball.
Number 2, which airline headquartered in Florida is listed on the NASDAQ with the symbol SAVE, S-A-V-E? Laurel?
Guess. Southwest.
Paul Cross?
I had Allegiant because I don't know.
Michael Gray?
I guessed Allegiant as well.
It is Spirit Airlines. Question number 3. What is the original name of Orlando, Florida? Laurel?
Oh, we talked about it. It's a dude's name.
It's a dude's name. That's right. It is a dude's name. Paul Cross?
Bob.
Michael?
I guessed Mosquito County.
Mosquito County. That's not a bad guess. The original name of Orlando, Florida is Jernigan with a J. Jernigan. Jernigan, which is why every now and again you'll see a Jernigan Road and a Jernigan building and stuff like that. That was the original name of Orlando. Aren't you glad we changed it to Orlando? Aren't you glad we're not like, oh, come visit us in Jernigan? In what again? Jernigan. Oh, never mind. Question number 4. In what year did Walt Disney World Resort in Orlando officially open to the public? Laurel?
1971.
Paul?
Oh, see, I guessed 72. I'm sorry.
Michael?
Wrong.
I guessed 72 as well.
What makes you think, Paul and Michael, that you're wrong?
I mean, because Laurel is the queen of Disney, and I just figured that she's going to be right.
Well, you're right. You're wrong.
I'm right. I'm wrong.
What?
That's right. You are right that you're wrong. Laurel is right. It was 1971.
There you go.
Question number 5. What is the name of the iconic fountain located in Lake Eola Park in downtown Orlando? Laurel?
Steve.
Steve is a very good guess, and probably what I would have also guessed. Paul Cross?
I guessed Dave.
Michael Gray?
Spray Fountain Face.
Spray Fountain Face. So it is commonly referred to as the Lake Eola Fountain, but it is actually the Linton E. Allen Memorial Fountain. The Linton E. Memorial Fountain. I will give you bonus points if you can tell me who in the heck is Linton E. Allen. What did he do for Orlando? Anyone?
He was Jernigan's best friend.
He was not a former mayor. That was a good guess, Michael. He was the founder of OUC, the Orlando Utilities Commission. So they named a fountain after that guy. How do you like that? In what year?
Utilities, water, makes sense.
In what year did Hurricane Charlie make landfall in Orlando, causing significant damage? Laurel?
I guess 2003.
Paul Cross?
And I guess 2002.
And Michael Gray?
And I was here. It was 2004.
It was 2004. Good job, Michael. And your last question. What famous golfer has a golf resort named after him in Orlando? Laurel.
Arnold Palmer.
That is correct. Paul Cross.
Nope, I had Jack Nicklaus.
And Michael Gray.
I had Arnold Palmer.
Arnold Palmer is the right answer. You guys both get points for that. Congratulations. Anybody have any
I
big...
went 0 for 7.
Anybody have any big, exciting plans for the weekend? Anybody do anything fun?
I'm going to replace the toilet.
That does sound very exciting. I've got two...
What? Like no invite for us while you're changing the toilet?
I've got tickets to go see Civil War tomorrow at the Sinopolis in Hamlin. So I'm going to go see that movie tomorrow.
Let us know if it's good. I want to know which reviews I should listen to.
Hear that.
I have read mixed reviews. People either absolutely think it's amazing or they think it is the biggest pice of garbage that has ever been made.
I was told, since it's from a journalist point of view, they made it very, very... I don't know, Switzerland. Everything is just neutral. They didn't want to lean either way, so it kind of made it weird. Right, yeah, because one thinks it's a war movie. I thought it was a war movie. It's not really a war movie. It's more of a journalism movie. It's a journalistic ethics type movie, I'm told. Because I work in journalism, I'm kind of excited about that part. But the woman who plays the lead... is a photojournalist for, I believe it's the New York Times in the movie. So, and that was the woman that used to be in the Spider-Man movie. What's her name? Kirsten Dunst.
And she's married to the when you watch the preview, the lead bad guy in the camouflage, she's married to him.
Yeah, they're husband and wife.
Jesse Plemons?
Jesse Plemons. Yeah, they're a real life couple.
And they are both really good actors.
They're both incredible actors, and I'm kind of excited about that. All right, round 3 of our Friday Night Fun and Games is going to be the tough one. It's the movie trivia, and it is coming up next. Don't nobody go nowhere.
This is WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580, Orlando's news and talk. For 100 years, we've been your voice, your source, your heartbeat. From the roaring 20s to the digital age, we've been there for it all. Happy 100th anniversary, WDBO, where history and headlines meet.
Oh, it is Friday afternoon, and the weather is gorgeous, 76 degrees, a little bit of a breeze. It is sunny, it is nice, it is Friday. The weekend is here, my friends, and we always unwind on a Friday afternoon and take it easy. We typically have trivia. It varies from week to week as to what kind of trivia we're going to have. Our contestants today are Laurel, Paul, and Michael. And it is time for the third and final round of trivia questions. And this round is movie trivia. Are y'all ready?
No, but go anyway.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, might as well.
All right, here's your first movie.
What are you doing in the sewer?
The storm blew me away. Blew the whole circus away.
Okay. All right. I'll play it again.
What are you doing in the sewer?
The storm blew me away. Blew the whole circus away.
Okay. So movie number 2.
I can't. I'm involved now. You let go and I'm going to have to jump in there after you.
God, it's so familiar, isn't it? Number 2.
I can't. I'm involved now. You let go, and I'm going to have to jump in there after you.
If you're watching the video, you see that Laurel just got it. I saw her head bob. She's like, oh, yes, I know what it is. Okay, so movie, rather, number 3.
Russia, get the new white panna with the brand new flavor. It's Daddy for your tea. Russia.
I see Paul Cross knows that one.
Just watched it last night.
Get the new white panna with the brand new flavor. It's Daddy for your tea. Russia.
I don't have a camera on Michael, so I can't see his facial expressions. I'm just assuming your head is nodding, Michael.
Blank stares.
No. I mean, you're not going to like this one at all. Here's movie number 4.
5 hours ago, Red Queen went homicidal. Sealed the hive and killed everyone down here.
Jesus.
When we realized what was happening, my team was dispatched to shut her down.
All right, that was movie number 4. I'll play it again for you because I know you don't have it. Laurel's writing something.
5 hours ago, Red Queen went homicidal. Sealed the hive and killed everyone down here.
Jesus.
When we realized what was happening, my team was dispatched to shut her down.
All right, movie number 5.
I've mastered the ability of standing so incredibly still that I've become invisible to the eye.
So that's tough because you recognize the voice, you recognize the character, but it could be any number of movies.
I've mastered the ability of standing so incredibly still that I've become invisible to the eye.
All right, movie number 6.
Daddy, I want a squirrel. Get me one of those squirrels. I want one.
Ruka, dear, you have many marvelous pets.
I'll do that again, and I'm sure everybody's like, oh, yeah, I know what that movie is.
Daddy, I want a squirrel. Get me one of those squirrels. I want one.
Ruka, dear, you have many marvelous pets.
Movie number 7.
There you go!
I'll play it again. Movie number 7. All right, I think you probably get that one. Here's number 8.
I know your problem. You got a Bruno in your head.
A Bruno?
Yeah, I get one too sometimes. Alberto, you can't. Alberto, you're gonna die. Alberto, don't put that in your mouth.
Yeah, that might be tough. Number 8, one more time.
I know your problem. You got a Bruno in your head.
A Bruno?
Yeah, I get one too sometimes. Alberto, you can't. Alberto, you're gonna die. Alberto, don't put that in your mouth.
All right, movie number 9.
Never heard of cash is clean. We got a point. Cash is clean wasn't bad.
Hey, I ain't saying clean bad. I'm just saying I stopped liking cash is clean.
I'll play it again. By the way, I did have to cut out one word of that because somebody dropped an F-bomb in it. But I'll play it one more time. Cut number 9.
Never heard of cash is clean. We got a point. Cash is clean wasn't bad.
Hey, I ain't saying clean bad. I'm just saying I stopped liking cash is clean.
Movie number 10.
I beg you, bold king, to permit me to redeem my father's name by serving you.
I'll play it one more time.
I beg you, bold king, to permit me to redeem my father's name by serving you.
There's only 2 more. 2 more movies. Here's number 11.
And you know what they call a quarter pounder with cheese in Paris?
They don't call it a quarter pounder with cheese?
Oh, man, they got the metric system.
I'll play it one more time.
And you know what they call a quarter pounder with cheese in Paris?
They don't call it a quarter pounder with cheese?
Oh, man, they got the metric system.
And your last movie, number 12.
No, I sell cars, that's all. Come on. I'm not a terrorist. I'm actually a complete coward. If I ever saw a gun, I'd all... Oh, no.
Number 12.
No, I sell cars, that's all. Come on. I'm not a terrorist. I'm actually a complete coward. If I ever saw a gun, I'd all... Oh, no.
Laurel's eyebrows are all scrunched up. She's trying so hard. Scrunch your face harder, and maybe it'll come to you. Scrunch, scrunch. All right, here we go. Back to the top. Movie number 1.
What are you doing in the sewer?
The storm blew me away. Blew the whole circus away.
All right, Laurel, what movie is that?
Scary. It's It.
Paul Cross.
It.
Michael.
Hey, I got it right.
How about that? I would not have gotten that one right. I've never seen It. Movie number 2.
I can't. I'm involved now. You let go, and I'm gonna have to jump in there after you.
Laurel.
Titanic.
Paul.
Yeah, absolutely. Titanic.
Michael.
I'm king of the world. It's Titanic.
All right, number 3.
Russia, get the new white panna with the brand new flavor. It's Daddy for your tea. Russia, Russia, Russia.
All right, Laurel, what is it?
I have no idea.
Come on.
I don't know.
Paul Cross.
Grease.
Michael Gray.
I don't know.
Wow, really? Are we that far of a generation apart?
I've seen Grease. I do not remember that scene at all.
Wow, she's brushing her teeth with the cartoon? No, never mind. Okay, number 4. I bet none of you get this one.
5 hours ago, Red Queen went homicidal. Sealed the hive and killed everyone down here.
Jesus.
When we realized what was happening, my team was dispatched to shut her down.
Laurel.
I guess Suicide Squad.
That's a good guess. Paul Cross.
I don't know.
Michael Gray.
I don't know either.
The movie is Resident Evil.
Never seen it.
Yeah, I haven't either. All right, number 5.
I've mastered the ability of standing so incredibly still that I've become invisible to the eye.
Movie, Laurel.
So funny.
Yeah, I'm just going to guess the original Guardians of the Galaxy.
Paul Cross.
I'm going to go Guardians 2.
And Michael Gray.
I don't know, but I recognize the voice because it's Dave Bautista, isn't it?
It is Dave Bautista, and It is Avengers Infinity War.
Oh, that was hard.
Yeah. Number 6.
Daddy, I want a squirrel. Get me one of those squirrels. I want one.
Ruka, dear, you have many marvelous pets.
Laurel.
I know it's Willy Wonka, but it's not the original, so I'll guess Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Paul Cross.
There you go, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Michael Gray.
Yep, Charlie and Chocolate Factory.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Congratulations. All 3 of you got that one.
There you go!
Laurel, what is it?
Castaway?
Paul Cross.
Castaway.
Michael.
It's Tom Hanks in Castaway.
Did you know, fun trivia, did you know that Castaway, the title of that movie is 2 words, not 1 word? When you're a castaway, as in you're alone on an island, that's a 1-word castaway. They deliberately made it 2 words, meaning he was disposable, meaning that life went on without him. That's why that is a 2-word title rather than a 1-word title. I thought that was very interesting that the movie makers made it 2 words. Mind blown, right?
Huh.
Isn't that interesting?
Absolutely.
So it's not Castaway, it's Cast Away. All right, number 8.
And Wilson is still 1 word.
That is still 1 word, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I know your problem. You got a Bruno in your head.
A Bruno.
Yeah, I get one too sometimes. Alberto, you can't. Alberto, you're gonna die. Alberto, don't put that in your mouth.
All right, Laura, what is that?
Not a clue.
Paul Cross.
I think it's Karate Kid 2.
Michael, you're our only hope on this one.
I'm going to guess Sandlot.
It was a movie called Luca. It's an animated movie, and that's why I thought maybe, Michael, because of your kids, you would have seen that one.
They've seen it. They love it. I have not seen it.
There you go. Number 9. Movie number 9.
I heard Cash is clean. You got a point. Cash is clean. It wasn't bad. Hey, I ain't saying clean bad. I'm just saying I stopped liking Cash is clean.
Laurel?
No idea.
Paul Cross.
Eddie Murphy in Arsenio Hall. I think it's Coming to America.
Michael Gray.
I don't know it.
It's Coming to America. Bonus point, if you can tell me, that's the barbershop scene. If you can tell me what actor is in the barber chair. It's a very, very young Cuba Gooding Jr.
Okay.
Long before the sexual abuse accusations.
Show me the money.
And the hashtag Me Too. Well before the Academy Award. I can't believe he won an Academy Award for Show Me the Money. All right, number 10.
I beg you, bold king, to permit me to redeem my father's name by serving you.
Laurel.
3 strikes, I'm out.
Oh, gosh, you have no idea how close you just came.
No.
Paul Cross.
I don't know.
Michael.
I don't know.
Laurel, I thought for sure you were about to say the title of that movie.
Oh, boy.
You said what?
3 strikes, I'm out.
The movie is 300.
Oh, jeez.
300. I thought for sure you were getting it.
You got the first syllable right.
Oh, all right, number 11.
You know what they call a quarter pounder with cheese in Paris?
They don't call it a quarter pounder with cheese?
I mean, they got the metric system.
Truly one of the greatest movies of all time. Laurel, what is it?
Pulp Fiction.
Paul Cross.
Yep, Pulp Fiction.
Michael Gray.
Pulp Fiction, iconic scene.
I love it. Iconic scene, iconic movie.
Royale.
That's right.
Royale with cheese.
Here is your last one.
No, I sell cars, that's all. Come on. I'm not a terrorist. I'm actually a complete coward. If I ever saw a gun, I'd
Laurel, what is that movie?
So familiar, but I lost it.
Paul Cross.
I believe that was Bill Paxton, and I think it's True Lies.
Michael Gray.
It is definitely True Lies.
It is definitely True Lies. All right, that's it. Add up your scores. Hang on. We'll come right back and crown our grand champion of Friday Night Fun and Games. Coming up next. Stay right there.
The Joe Kelley Show on WDBO. The Joe Kelley Show on WDBO. Insightful.
You tell the truth from your point of view.
Entertaining.
Man, that guy is a lot taller than he sounds on the radio.
And engaging.
When we hear you on the radio, it's a good thing.
The Joe Kelley Show on WDBO.
All right, what is your score, Laurel Lee?
It is 19.
19, not bad. Paul Cross.
I had, if we're counting 2 for the first round, is that right?
Yeah.
I had 27.
Oh, my. Paul Cross takes the lead. What about you, Michael?
I had 16.
Congratulations, Paul Cross.
Yeah, it's the music. It's the music.
The crowd goes wild. Y'all have a great weekend. We'll see you back here on the radio Monday on WDBO.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.